Humanity is at all times the total of what they have been and done, what they have fought and defended, and what they have hated and loved. In the three-dimensional consciousness of every human, in every atom of the human body, is a reflection of the soul and a crystallization of their individuality, their emotional and nervous structures, their mental abilities, aptitudes, aversions, preferences, fears, follies, ambitions, and character, are the sum of what humans have done with their free will. This makes every personality, as the earthly cloak, of an individuality, is different from every other personality. The law of karma, which is Earth's law of cause and effect of reaping which one sows, also makes humans different from one another in their joys and sorrows, in their handicaps, their strengths, their weaknesses, their virtues and vices, their appreciation of beauty, and their comprehension of truth. Transgressions that humans make in life must be corrected in life, if not in the same life, then in a future incarnation. The Earth's natural law, not the law humanity or God, demands an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This same law applies to groups of people, as they act together. There is karma for families, for tribes, for races, and for nations. For example, when a nation of individuals started a war in a previous life and are reincarnated, a war will be committed upon that nation. Only when such a nation is defeated in humility by a nation with justice and mercy, will the karma of war be lifted from the defeated nation. Every person's life is shaped to some extent by karma, their own, their associates, their loved ones, their nation, their race, and the entire world itself. But karma is not greater than free will. It is what a person does with these influences and urges, how they react to them, which makes the difference in their soul development. Because of karma, some things are more probable than others, but as long as there exists free will, anything is possible. Thus free will and predestination coexist within human beings. Their past experiences limit them in probability and incline them in certain directions, but free will can always draw the sword from the stone. The combination of free will and predestination means that humans freely choose their own predetermined destiny to return to God. No soul incarnates without having a general plan for the life to be experienced. The personality that a person expresses in life is only one of the many personalities, i.e., facets of the soul, that a person could express. The mission of every soul is to work on one or several facets of the soul's karma, which can be thought of as the soul's memory of its prior actions. A soul does not choose a mission that is more than it can handle or that is too much for the personality assigned to or chosen by the soul. Some souls can freely choose their own conditions in which to be born and complete their missions. Other souls who have made too many mistakes in past lives and who have become dangerously influenced by worldly desires, are incarnated into conditions chosen by law of karma at a time and under circumstances that are best suited to help them with their karmic debt. Their mission is seldom perfectly fulfilled because of such a soul's large amount of negative karma. Their mission is sometimes badly neglected. The circumstances and conditions that a soul chooses to incarnate into is usually made at conception, when a channel for a soul's expression is opened by the parents. When this occurs, a pattern is made by the mingling of the soul patterns of the parents. This sets up certain karmic conditions. A soul whose own karma approximates these karmic conditions will be attracted to the opportunity presented. Since the karmic pattern created by the parents will not be exactly the same the incarnating soul's own karma, the soul must take on some of the karma of the parents. Conditions other than the created pattern are conditions that the soul must consider when choosing a body to be born with. Such conditions include the future of the incarnated person's life, former associations with the parents, the incarnation of souls that it wishes to incarnate with, live with, and with whom the soul will have problems to work out with. In some cases the parents are the only reason for some souls to incarnate. Such a child will be devoted to them and remain close to them. The child then completes its mission by dying so that the child's death can teach the parents very valuable lessons in life and of spirit. In other cases, the parents are only used as a means for which the child can leave home and go about its business in completing its mission. The soul may actually occupy a fetus as early as 3 months after conception or even as late as a month after birth. In the latter case, the soul hovers over the infant's body since birth to decide whether or not to occupy it. Once the decision is made and the occupation completed, the separation between the conscious mind, i.e., personality, and subconscious mind, i.e., the soul, takes place and the soul record, i.e., memory, of the child begins. The fact that some babies are miscarried does not mean that it was refused as a vehicle for a soul. Just the opposite is true. The opportunity to incarnate was taken away from the soul due to natural forces, and this made the occupation of that body impossible. The personality is a facet of the soul's individuality experienced in three-dimensional consciousness, i.e., body, soul, spirit. The other facets of the soul remains in shadow, in the background. It gives tone to the personality through its urges, appreciations, tastes, avocations, and intuition. A particular personality of an individual is shaped by 3 or 4 incarnations. The emotions and talents of a person reflects these past incarnations. A person's dreams, visions, and meditations are reflections of the soul's experience in other dimensions, i.e., heavenly realms, of consciousness associated physically by our solar system. The human intellect was created from the stars and planets. The intellect is the mind force of the soul which is conditioned by its previous incarnations on Earth and its experiences in other dimensions and even in other solar systems. The intellect becomes dimmed or brightened by its recent experiences within the three-dimensional consciousness of the solar system and the experiences within other dimensional realms of consciousness. Thus, a personality is only a facet of the soul. The soul may incarnate as any facet to express that portion of itself. As a soul approaches its completion of the solar cycle of consciousness, the personality becomes more multi-sided and expresses greater facets of the soul. This is because each incarnation burns off negative karma which requires less and less attention. Finally, the personality will become a complete expression of the soul and the cycle of reincarnation is finished for the soul. As the soul succumbs to worldly desires by abandoning its intellect for sensuality, it becomes more and more one-sided. When the individual has attained complete human-divine unity, its cycle of reincarnations is finished. The soul is liberated, and the soul then merges with its spirit and, therefore, with God. The soul record, memory, is forever retained. This record is, at all times, is the sum total of what the soul personality has been. All it has thought, all it has experienced, all it has eaten, drunk, and felt through the ages. Thus, as the soul is subjected to reincarnation, both the atheist and the religionist are correct. The atheist believes the personality does not survive after death. The religionist believes the soul is judged after death by its creator. Substituting personality for soul, both are expressing the truth. The personality is evaluated after death and then returns to the soul which created it, thereby giving up its own independent existence and becoming once again a facet of the soul. This process is different from the process where the soul merges with the spirit after it completes its cycles of reincarnation. With each incarnation into the physical realm, the solar system, and the other realms of consciousness, the general plan for perfecting the soul proceeds. Another facet of the soul is assumed and incarnated to experience tribulation in order to reinforce the character of the soul's entire personality. The trials and tribulations of individuals, groups, nations, and races are dealt with time and time again through free will until they are solved. Then souls are free to journey to other worlds, or other solar systems, or other universes, or other dimensions of the hierarchy of consciousness. Quotes from Edgar Cayce about the cosmos and souls. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. How? The mind of God moved, and matter, form, came into being. Spirit is life. Mind is the builder, and the physical is the result. In each atom, in each corpuscle, is life. Life is that you worship as God. For the earth is only an atom in the universe of worlds. All souls in the beginning were one with the Father. The separation or turning away brought evil. For man may separate himself from God, the Spirit, but the Spirit does not separate from man. All souls were created in the beginning and are finding their way back to whence they came. Each soul is destined to become a portion again of the first cause, or back to its maker. The Father has not willed that any soul should perish, and is thus mindful that each soul has again, and yet again, the opportunity for making its paths straight. Life is, in all its manifestations in every animate force, creative force in action, and is the love of expression, or expressing that life. Truth becoming a result of life's love expressed. For, these are but names, unless experienced in the consciousness of each soul. All power, all force, is a manifestation of that which is termed the God consciousness. The coming into the earth has been and is, for the evolution or evolving of the soul unto its awareness. Birth in the physical is death in the spiritual. Death in the physical is the birth in the spiritual. Each soul enters with a mission. We all have a mission to perform. The conquering of self is truly greater than we're one to conquer many worlds. He who understands nature walks close with God. What is truth? Law. What is law? Love. What is love? God. What is God? Law and love. These are as the cycle of truth itself. You grow to heaven. You don't go to heaven. All souls were created in the beginning and are finding their way back to whence they came. Edgar Cayce.